My name is Anton Pleshov and I have 15 years of experience in the software development industry, 7 years as a software architect. In this video, I will explain the essentials of planning for IT software projects. Before we start, let's make things clear. Good planning is possible, and by good planning, I mean planning with deadlines met and no overworking or team burnouts. And now I will give you a few basic steps to make it happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first, you need to choose a planning methodology. Two very popular methodologies in the modern software world are waterfall and agile. In waterfall methodology, the planning is done for the whole project in a detailed way. In agile methodology, detailed planning is done only for a fraction of the project or the initial phases of the project. The rest of the project is planned on a high level without diving deep into details. Agile methodology is popular for its flexibility, and waterfall for its clear expectations. If you want a detailed comparison of those two methodologies, let me know in the comments on this video. Second thing you might want to do is to select a term or planning horizon for your planning process. Let's say, for example, that you decided to plan using agile methodology. In this case, you need to essentially break down the planning into two phases. First phase is high-level planning for long term, let's say for a year, right? And second phase is detailed planning for a short term, such as the next quarter or even the next week. Those two parts should be completely separate processes, which will have their own goals, schedule, and planning horizon as variables. Choosing the right planning horizon is very important and will drive a lot of decisions further in the process. Alright, step number 3. Now that the planning horizon is selected, you need to understand which features you want to build for it. At this phase, you may already want to consult with a software engineer who is working with you on this project. You may want to communicate the planning methodology and planning horizon is selected. Tell about business idea you want to implement and features you want to include. At this point, the feedback from engineers may not be 100% accurate, but it will give you a high-level idea of which features you can include in the potential timeline. You write down the list of all the business features you can include and feasible from the feedback and what's important, and then write down business requirements against every feature in the list. The requirements can be either detailed on a high level, depending on the accuracy of planning results you're expecting. High-level business requirements will all result in high-level planning with low accuracy, so keep that in mind. Step number 4. The software engineer performs the decomposition of the project. You present all the requirements and the list of features to the engineer, who will now take a much deeper look into it. Decomposition is a process of representing business requirements and features in a form system building blocks. The blocks themselves will then form applications and services. Decomposition must be performed by an experienced engineer who knows the specifics of a particular platform or technology and is capable of designing systems of such scale and complexity. The output of decomposition would be a system design document that features a list of technical requirements, level of effort required for each component, and the teams and specializations necessary to perform the work. Now, after the document is ready, the project manager, product manager, or other stakeholders must carefully look into it. First, they need to define how much of the required resources they have to accommodate the technical requirements. Essentially, they need to draw a timeline and start including the components one by one into it, almost like in a Tetris game. The component which requires more effort and time will be bigger in the timeline, whereas the low effort components will require a smaller slot. There are a few differences from Tetris though. First, availability of teams and dependency between components must be strictly followed. And second, and this is very important, the amount of teams you assign to a single component can be limited. Often it is just a single team. So please carefully review those limitations with your engineer. Once you fill in the schedule, it becomes a shareable document which you can then send to your teams and stakeholders. It is an important blueprint for future development and can serve as a point of coordination between all parties. Further down the line, you can add more items or adjust it following the same process we outlined today. The process of creating a schedule is not complicated but can be time-consuming. I want to tell you about a tool we created that serves as a great helper to make it much easier and quicker. It was created specifically for IT. Check out the links in the description. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to share and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.